Like when
That's
people
true.
ask me what I was doing 10 years ago, I think it was hard work, but there was also a lot of luck.
It is a tough job. There is a lot which goes behind this glamorous life.
I also feel like we're a little bit far away still in India from where an influencer will have the same kind of aura that a Bollywood celebrity will
But
have.
why traditional advertising is dead? Every brand wants to go directly to the consumer.
The influencer and the consumer are slowly becoming one and the same.
I do believe that some brands just chase numbers. Some brands just chase followers.
And then there was this huge conversation, at least in the influencer circle, right? Because I'm obviously coming from that POV. Oh, this one's buying followers and that one's buying followers. How are you keeping up with the fact that there are so many influencers, like you said?
Tomorrow, you are far more replaceable with creators who are AI.
But what I never understood is why didn't she become an influencer or she became a content creator? Because look at her. Neither am an MBA, neither do I have a creative degree. I'm not a graduate.
I think influencers themselves don't realize that it's actually pretty valuable to get that invite.
There are some agencies out there where I'm like, I know I have to work with them. Are you comfortable sharing what an average salary of a 25 to 30-year-old might be at either of your organizations?
Average employee at Toast earns 5 incentives. One incentive is equal to 1 salary.
Hi everyone and welcome to today's episode of The Real Deal with me, Aanam C. In today's episode, we have industry insiders who are going to shed some serious light on the influencer business as well as the event space. Between influencers and celebrities, both my guests today have worked with the who's who of the industry. We're talking spending crores of money. We're talking over 800 events a year. We're talking over 2,500 influencer campaigns a year as well. I'm so excited to bring to you the founders of one of India's largest event companies in the fashion and beauty space, as well as one of the largest influencer management companies. We're about to have a conversation with Puja Sharma and Harshad Chavan. I promise you, this one is about to be one for the books. Hi, Harshad. Hi, Pooja. Welcome to this episode.
Hi,
I have a feeling we're about to have a lot of fun based on the last 20 minutes before we've started rolling. But since we're going to talk more about work and more about how you guys do all the amazing things you do, should we start off with just a little bit of context setting for everyone, right? So, Pooja, you're the founder of Air. You lead one of the biggest influencer agencies in India today. How big is your team? How did you get here? And of course, I'm going to come to you with the same question for Toast.
Hi, Aanam. So nice to be here, especially with you guys. Completely unexpected, but great fun to have this conversation. I think it's a fab space. I started my journey about 9 years ago. And as you know, you were amongst the first that I gave a shout out to when I was sort of screening and trying to understand. At the time, I remember nobody even understood the word influencer. In fact, it was a term that it was largely, there were YouTubers, bloggers, but no such thing as an influencer. And it was my experience in the West where I had noticed that we were trying to do some digital marketing. Things weren't really working. I was in Dubai actually at the time. And then we worked with 2 YouTubers and we requested them to do an unboxing. And these were veiled YouTubers. It was for the Saudi market. They did the unboxing and our website crashed for orders. So what we hadn't seen in 3 months of trying to sell that product, in 3 days, the site couldn't cope. So we were like, okay, there's something here. So we shut all our marketing budgets down. We said we're going to put it only behind these 2 YouTubers. And, since then, it was a runaway success. So I knew there was something there. I was very keen to see if this was, a project, kind of a pet project that we could do out of India. Came back to India, checked around with, people like you, with some brands, and I found that there was some space, and that's how we started. We actually wanted to be more, I would say, data-centric, make it very modern, very technical, but that didn't end up happening at the time. And instead, we became a full-service sort of an agency. And here we are.
Here you are, literally leading some of the biggest influencer campaigns in the country, especially in the beauty space.
Personal care, yes. Food
Personal
and
care.
beverage, these would be the main ones.
And how strong and how big is your team today?
We're about 160.
Wow,
people.
that's not an easy feat. You've like really built a mega empire in this 9 years, 9.5 years.
9 years.
Wow.
But what I never understood is why didn't she become an influencer or she became a content creator? Because look at her, I mean, like so beautiful, so lovely, and I'm just like I'm just wondering like why I thought that she'll probably say it, right? Like I was thinking to be an influencer or be a content creator. I don't know what.
I think
we should
were
get an answer on that.
far better out there. And you're talking, we are, being hosted by one. And when I met her itself, I knew that I was backing the right sort of idea.
No, but you also came from like your ex L'Oreal. You were with L'Oreal in India and in the US, right?
Yes.
And I feel like when you have that kind of experience, you also are coming from a place of, okay, you really know the direction you're going in. 10 years ago in the influencer space, none of us knew what we were doing, to be completely fair. Like when people ask me what I was doing 10 years ago, I think it was hard work, but there was also a lot of luck. Because we didn't know the space was going to boom the way it did.
And I guess that's probably the reason why she is at the space where she is, right? Because she saw that coming when no one saw that coming.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what she is.
I hoped it came and it did. But I think it was also the way, like you said, we used to see a lot of how consumers were operating. And we started seeing shifts very quickly with what used to be a very retail-oriented business. At the time, digital had started coming up from an e-com perspective very early, but you could see the trends were moving.
Yeah.
Of course, how big it would get would be different. Personally, I was influenced by a lot of people when I would look at stuff on social media and then, go and buy stuff. So there was definitely a personal sort of insight and experience that in India, you just had so much more. Everywhere else globally, you had such few people doing that. And just the volumes would be a big deal for India. So at the time, it was more to find the quality and then see how we could go to the brands and try to bridge that gap and say that, what if someone spoke on your behalf, but their way? And let's see kind of where they go. So I would also say that there were some companies that were really amazing who saw the vision at the time, because otherwise I don't think that this space would be present for anybody. So those organizations were equally ready to try new things and test and see. So that was also a very big piece. And I think that was led a lot by the personal care space.
Yeah.
So it was L'Oreal, it was Johnson's, Baby. These were the organizations that were definitely ahead of their time.
Yeah. I also feel like some first movers advantage goes a long way, because like what you were doing, coming from a place of data, knowing in our early 20s, we were doing by fluke, but you had so much of a sense of it with an early movers advantage because there was so much of experience and you were studying what was happening in the market. And I feel like you shouldn't not give yourself credit for that also. Coming to you, sir, you have been ahead of the curve in your own way in the event space.
Yeah, it's been...
Wait, I want to get this right. 2008, you started Cream. 2012, you sold Cream.
That's right.
And then in what year did you found Toast?
So Toast honestly was not found by me. I was very happy, made some dollars. I was like, okay, time to retire. And then a lot of people at Toast who are here have also worked for me at Cream events. So my employees started Toast events, and they were the one who, registered the company. They put everything together because they were like, that's it. When I quit Cream, is when they called on me and said that we need a mentor. We still think that, we have it, but we still need someone who can kind of guide us on how to take the story forward, what to do, where to take this, and so on and so forth, which is where I then came in to Toast. So I actually joined as an employee and then, of course, took it over.
Really?
Yes, that's actually the story.
I feel like I feel like we need to set context for anyone who doesn't know, because I feel like with the event space, people see the brand and they don't necessarily know who's doing the things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, 9 out of 10 events that happen in the beauty, fashion, lifestyle space in India today are done by Toast. So I feel like every time I'm walking into an event, I just assume that it's Toast. So much so that very recently I went to an event and I was like, I know it's Toast. I'm going to see the team there. And I saw them over the weekend, of course. I met your co-founder over there. How is it to be in a space, first of all, that to everybody else from the outside looks like it's a lot of fun, but on the inside, it's work. You're dealing with logistics, you're dealing with influencers, you're dealing with celebrities, and you're dealing with vendors. And I've done a couple of events for brands that I really like. And I think dealing with vendors is by far the toughest.
Yeah. So I think it's very, very important to understand what we do, right? Like for us, when everyone sleeps, we are working. Because when you come to an event, you come to an event, whether it's an event that starts at 12 noon, whether it's an event that starts at 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock, we actually have to work in the night to set that event up. So while everyone thinks that, wow, this is, look at Harshad, he's hanging out with the celebrities, he's with the influencers, look at how he's conducting, wow, what a life. But it's not a life, because at the end of the day, when they come to the event, they see what they're seeing, and they're seeing the creativity, or they're seeing what we have created. But what goes behind it, it's a great point that how you want to bring that out. So we work through the night to set that up. That's point number one. Not an easy job, because the teams have to be at it. They have to work in shifts, because we are very clear that we don't want any of our employees to work for more than 10 hours. And then, there's someone else takes it over, and then someone is actually implementing the event. So it is a tough job. There is a lot which goes behind this glamorous life. There's a lot which goes behind people thinking it's pretty much like, oh wow, like look at it, today he's with this one or today he's with that one. So that's not the. So that's point number one. Point number two, I guess if you have the creativity and if you kind of have a solution to the brands, like you said, 9 out of 10 beauty brands work with us. Yeah, absolutely. Because I guess what has helped us, and all the team members come from different walks of life. None of us come only from an event management background. Some are from the brand marketing background. Some are from the digital background. Some are probably from weddings. So what happens is when we all come together and we put a solution together for the brand, I think that's what a beauty brand or any of the brands is interested to see, like how they can kind of churn it differently, because I've been on the brand side for 16 years and I know what the brand wants or what the objective of the brand is. And that's how we take the story forward. So I guess that's kind of worked, and no one is going to keep you giving repeated business unless you're able to deliver what you're supposed to deliver. So I do believe that, at Toast, we are doing what works for the brand, and which is why, like today, out of the 300 brands we work with, 250 brands are repeat business. And, we know at the start of the year what their plan is and what are they going to be their new launches or what are going to be the next events they're going to do. So I guess that's what it is.
So he's given you a very professional answer. I know Harshad way back when I was on the brand side, and we were looking for, eventing solutions. I don't even really know how we crossed paths the first time. Yeah. But what I can tell you and what really stands out is he is like a breath of fresh air. And in that space, you really need, and there's something about him and the culture that he has created with the rest of his team as well, which I think has a huge role to play in the fact that you're very convinced that you will get a strong creative output, which is experiential. And now it is the buzzword, but this was him talking about it like 10 plus years ago. Even more, maybe.
Yeah, more. I think Cream was 2008. Yeah. So, really
so
long.
So much more. Then comes the fact that you just know that, and in the event space, because once you kind of hand over, in any service industry for that matter, you have to have a lot of trust and belief in the partner to deliver, because like he said, that you're sleeping while the work is going on. And they've just been spot on. So if there's a vision that is given to you, when you wake up and show up, it is that, if not better. So that's a very, very important, it's a soft skill, but to be able to live up to that expectation consistently with the energy, joy that they bring, I think it just translates to every experience, even a relationship.
Didn't I tell you, I wish I can speak as well as Pooja speaks, right? Like, she actually just gave, like, what I couldn't do it and put it in words, she's done it for me, So, it helps, right? Like when you know someone for so many years.
I also think that coming from the experiential angle, the demand for it has definitely gone up. Do you feel like there's been a change in the way you're getting briefs from brands on what they're looking at? And even for you, because I'm sure it translates to both your spaces.
I think it's a big, there is a big change. There is a big shift, right? Traditional advertising is dead. Every brand wants to go directly to the consumer. And I guess that, probably the reason why we do run about 800 events in a year is only because every brand wants to talk to the consumer, understand the consumer, let the consumer, see the product, feel the product. And I guess that's where the demand is literally growing for every single brand, whether you're kind of dealing with a beauty brand or you're dealing with a Spotify. Like even today, look at what Spotify is doing. They are actually going to their fans because they want their fans, their premium fans, to feel very special. So there are movie releases or movie music releases which happen at an event, and then they get their top 200, top 250 Spotify premium users to come over there and get a feel, talk to the artist. So I guess the canvas and the universe is changing. Everyone wants to go more closer to the customer. Everyone wants to go more closer to the consumer. And I guess that's where we come in and we help the brands to kind of go and achieve that.
Do you feel briefs for you also have changed basis how experiential events might lead to more social media conversions for organic content? I mean, of course, when there's a paid campaign, there's always deliverables that, creators have, but it'll be bonus organic content that the brand will get if the experience is far better.
Definitely. For us, in any case, an event has always been something that may not be a part of a typical influencer outreach for brands. But whenever there is an event, the expectation to provide for the influencer has always been some form of experience. The more elevated the experience, the better the content. So that has been, I think, in sync always from day one. What used to be maybe meet and greets basically evolved into different types of experiences. And now I think I don't even know if there is a word to it, but experiences have just gone completely, massive in terms of going out of the box thinking and literally bringing wow to the person that comes there. What has additionally changed is that the influencer and the consumer are slowly becoming one and the same. So now we are seeing that these experientials that have, I would say in the West, really, you've had brands like Rode that started the whole pop-up culture that are blending the influencer. So now the experience is not just for the influencer.
Yeah.
The experience is to be taken, maybe begins with the influencer, maybe is advocated by the influencer to her community and beyond, but filters into the consumer for sure. And the expectation is even the consumer today has Instagram accounts or open accounts and will start posting and communicating and sharing the experience. So this is very much here to stay. And I think we are going to see experiences at scale down, but very much a significant part of any brand building process.
This has also led to the rise of UGC culture so much, right? Nano creators, micro creators, macro creators, the tiers that have come up now.
Absolutely.
And you're dealing with everyone from 0 to 100.
Yeah. So I think we're dealing, like she rightly said, there's now the line between the influencers and the real consumer is kind of now slowly diminishing. I can see that too. But yeah, like today there's so much, like, for a brand, there are so many avenues and there are so many people to kind of call because, for them, if they're spending an X amount of money on an event, whether you call 300 people or you call 600 people, so you might as well then go for that 600 people reach. So I think it does work. I also believe that, most of the influencers or content creators are ready to take a good content. So, that's where probably the rise of Toast has been, because we have been very clear that, we want to go beyond. We don't want to stick to the narrative. If we can kind of make sure that every little wall or every little thing which we do over there is kind of making sure that, it gives them a reason to create more content, or it gives them a reason to click another picture, which is organic content, what she said. It's brilliant. So I think every brand is looking at that. Every brand wants to do that now. And I think if you have an idea and if you're able to take that forward, it's great.
So in a world where there are so many layers of creators and types of creators, the lines are blurring. How do you choose who to work with? I feel like because you're working on so many campaigns at the same time, requirements of a brand is one thing, but recommending the influencers that you choose to work with sounds like a really difficult position to be in. How does one filter through and take that forward?
So that's our entire day job.
That's why she makes so much money, basically. Yeah,
maybe much more than the day job as well. But I think today, it obviously being in the service industry, it has to do with identifying what the needs of the brands are. And today, brands are on different curves of evolution in this space. I think what's interesting about it is that whether they're large awareness-led briefs or other problems to solve, that it's a new launch, they need a lot of people to know about it. Sometimes it's perception correction, that the brands have had a bit of a tough ride. They need to correct their perception. Market share problems. So these are marketing issues, which I don't think people recognized a while ago that would be solutions that would come from influencers. So the seriousness of this space has become quite evident. As a result, it's become very central to the marketing mix. So often we get asked very broad level questions. We're facing XYZ competition digitally. Market share is a problem. Typically, it's always that, right? No one's on a high coming to you saying, oh, make it even higher. There's always some challenge. As a result, we then look at that problem and cut it and slice it to see. But typically, I would say for any influencer campaign, you always have the top influencers who lead the communication. And those top are not necessarily by followers. It's defined by either expertise, either just better subject matter understanding. In some cases, it is the reach and the audience volume that they have. So those become your lead influencers. Then you have the wider group, which are just educating, informing, and then UGC, of course, in cases where brands do want to go very wide. But you have different slices and dices that exist.
And I would ask you the same question if it comes to choosing celebrities for brands, because you're always making recommendations for, who should be showing up where.
Yeah, I think it's all about looking at what the brand image and what the brand solution, what is the solution the brand needs, right? And I probably think that's what we marry. We marry the celebrity's personality into the brand, because at the end of the day, you know that, if I'm going to do an X and then I'm going to suddenly going to go to an A, it's not going to match. So I think that's what we do. While she also puts her day, we also put the day to kind of think that, I'm just trying to say we also work. But I'm just kidding. The point is, we also kind of match a brand's personality with the celebrity, and, rightly based on the celebrity's expertise, the way that celebrity is, and, what that celebrity, whether it's a he or a she, depending on what they have been known for, we kind of marry that, and that's how we do. Not an easy job. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, because at the end of the day, we have mostly done campaigns where it's always been the first time. So there is no research to say that, this has worked, this has not worked, because with celebrities, it can happen that. But I think, I would say decently 8 out of 10 times whenever we've done something like this, it's worked.
And in this matchmaking process, how often is there push and pull between variable factors like logistics, money, whether the brand is on the same page as you, whether it's social media deliverables or details about this person appearing at the event? How much of that work goes into putting
I just believe for me or for Toast, right? I think if you define right at the stage one of what the expectation is. Like we believe to go always very detailed. So we define it. Like if I'm going to kind of pick up an R from a celebrity, I define exactly how that R is going to be utilized. So we don't leave anything in the air for a brand to be unhappy or for the celebrity to be unhappy. So when you define that and you tell the celebrity that this is what you're going to be paying for and this is what the expectations are. We honestly, I don't remember in my 10 years of Toast, I kind of had an issue with any celebrity saying, oh, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to, or for doing this, I need extra money, because we've always defined that. There are always times where a brand will try to push that if I can get one or two more. But I guess what we have been doing in the industry also works, and we have a little track record. So when we go and request the celeb, or in some cases some influencers, they are normally always happy to do it because of the kind of universe of brands which we have. So they also know that it's probably not like, in little words, no, I'm not going to be like chipifying something.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's something a small brand need us come and we'll be very happy to do it. So I don't think so I've faced that kind of an issue, but yeah.
I would just say that in our case, you'd be surprised how detailed oriented the workings for this space is. Like, I think for people who see it from the outside, or even those who want to be influencers, there is a lot of thought, a lot of clear target definition that goes behind it. And I'm talking down both sides. So when it comes to the experience, so those who are being specifically invited for an event, I think it's important for them to know that there's a lot that goes behind that invitation.
Yeah.
So even sometimes I think influencers themselves don't realize that it's actually pretty valuable to get that invite. And the more you don't see that, then, because of the volume of influencers coming in, frankly, dime a dozen today, it's a coveted spot. So there is, and when I say a lot, it's about the kind of target audience they are bringing. It's about the kind of content quality that they are able to express, because the whole purpose is all this time, effort, energy has gone into creating this event. The whole purpose is to take that experience to everybody who couldn't be there.
Yeah.
Some of them, most of them are consumers.
Yeah.
And the idea is that with that experience that all this effort has gone behind, there is a brand trying to make a connection with the consumer. That I am this type of brand. This is my, this is a personification of me as a brand. So they want to associate with X type of influencers for that, X type of content. So it is it's not something that happens just, as a snap of a finger, or it's not assumed to be just a task that gets done. It's very, very detailed oriented.
How are you keeping up with the fact that there are so many influencers? Like you said, dime a dozen, I agree. Because personally, there was a time when I would try to keep up. And now, even I can't keep up. Sometimes I go to events and someone comes up to me and they're like, oh, I've been doing this for 5 years. And I'm like, how have I not seen this person in 5 years? And I feel stupid. Because I'm like, I've been around for almost 14 years. And I genuinely would like to keep up, but it's exploded so much, which in my personal opinion is both good and bad.
Yes.
Good because it has democratized the way anyone and everyone can express themselves and build a career and a life for themselves. But also, I guess the negative side of it as an influencer, myself, I can say is that I don't want the credibility of the industry to just be doled out to everyone. I am nobody to gatekeep, but if I could, I would just hope that more people are able to uphold the level of genuine engagement, content, keep things organic. And especially at a time like this, hot take, but like obviously one is not for the whole fad that kicked in a while back about people buying followers. And I only recently learned that you could also buy engagement, which was a very shocking, that I felt like I was living under a rock. So how are you keeping up with the fact that people are doing this and you need to potentially sell these profiles to brands to work with? If you don't know that X blogger is, kind of doing these practices, how does this whole circle work? How does it work being responsible for who you're recommending to the brand? Because they're spending money on these people.
Yeah.
I think luckily for Toast, right? Like, because we are an event company predominantly. That's what.
But you also work with influencers.
We do a lot of work with influencers, but if you see the various facets of us, is one, we when we put an event, then the brand or the brand's agency is calling all the influencers. So we are not directly in touch with them. When we deal with celebs, which is a large portion of what we do, we know which celeb is real and which celeb is fake at the end of the day, where the followers are. And I probably think that there has been a bit of research at our end, because over a period of 10 years, we also know so many campaigns done, what is working and what is not working. So I guess there have been learnings. And then if those learnings are applied to the new campaigns which are coming out with different brands, I believe it works. So I think for me, I'm in a little lucky space where I don't have to probably the last campaign which we did, it went on over for 2 years, a digital campaign for a brand. And at that time, I probably think if we engage with around about 200 people or 200 influencers, content creators, Bollywood celebrities, musicians, whoever it is, I guess just the influencer piece in that would be around about 30 or 40. So I guess I would also go back to the same point that brands are going to the real people. Brands are going to different genres. So it's a very interesting space to know. Like she said, there are many influencers which are coming in. There are dime a dozen. But it's also going to be very interesting for me to see where this space is going to go, because there are so many more people. Like I believe more of our brands are interested in the real people, and that's working.
That's what I think. I think in the event space, specifically, it's for Toast, it would be the experience and the thinking of how that experience can get translated for anyone who comes in. So the pool from a creator lens perspective would be far more curated and smaller and more consistent in that space. But the primary aim is that experience for a consumer needs to be far, far more enriching, consistent, long-term, right? In your case.
Yeah, completely. But in fact, I would lead that to a question that do you feel, I do not know, because for us, when we work with Bollywood celebs, we know that there is million followers and so on and so forth. Have you come across brands because sometimes I just feel that the brands has how much engagement I'm getting and how many followers they are, because they basically link, if there's a marketing or there's these people, they link exactly to followers and engagement. Do you think you face that? Because, I believe I have very less followers, but the kind of people who follow me are each one can kind of influence. What do you think? How does that work in your...
And attaching to that, also the paid engagement that's going around.
Oh, that's insane.
Which is a separate, kind of related to that.
Meaning paid engagement.
How would you filter out the engagement being good, but then you don't know if whether it's real or not?
Real or not.
So how are you vetting, essentially?
Yeah. I don't know about the paid engagement bit, but I think the expert
it's become a very big thing.
The expert should say. I probably, do you know? Okay, just send me your contact. I probably would just
you don't have a contact.
Okay. Pooja, can you help me on that, please?
Yeah. No, I don't. So, first of all, I would say that the role of a celebrity is very different from an influencer. The celebrity is required for a completely different purpose. Usually there is a strong PR element related to it. Press will definitely be part of that experience. And the idea is to get that information percolated largely through the press. And the celebrity is obviously the most elevated part of that experience. So in that case, I'm sure definitely your followers and engagement does matter. I think today, if you're on social media and one of the reasons for your selection is your social handle, then definitely, if you're going to choose a celebrity who's not really active on social media, but because of a certain brand fit, and the press is going to love him or her regardless, then it doesn't matter. But if the selection has been done because of also some activation required on digital, then absolute engagement or the organic engagement that we say will always be an important and critical part. So I think even for celebrities, they know, and some of them are so ahead of the curve with amazing teams backing them, making sure that their social medias are really, really on point.
Yeah.
So I don't see that changing. But that line is in fact just going to blur and blur. You're going to have a situation where if you have a influencer who's really topical and getting crazy engagement, and we've seen in some cases, we've done like some college activations in tier 2 towns, and we've called larger creators from neighboring cities. The colleges went crazy. They would come out in thousands to see the creator, and this is akin to what used to be what celebrities got. So that's where the lines will blur, where at some point you'll have influencers who have also sort of crossed over, but they will have to do more than just be content creators. So I guess that's that journey. The other piece that you spoke about, generally speaking, when it comes to how do you find influencers, or is your question being there's just such a large pool? Yes, this pool is expected to grow, even with platforms themselves, with Meta, YouTube. They're extremely convinced that this is here to stay, and they are building products to support it. So the future is to essentially increase this pool more and more. We have tools, brands have tools that very, very clearly can tell us the quality of that influencer. So there are, people tell you, there are 8 million creators, there are, in the country. But by the time you start filtering and cleaning up in that sense, so we look at suspicious followers, for example. Suspicious are these bots. Who has gone and bought followers? So these tools can immediately tell you. And instantly you're able to cut off people. Engagement rates is another, metric. Regular engagement rate. So if and I think this is something that Meta also shares, that typically you need to have about 2% engagement rate, 1 to 2% on your page. But most brands today are selecting influencers who give a minimum of 2% engagement rate. And this is also qualified through tools that can check for fake engagement versus actual engagement. So it's a big farce if there are people going about buying engagements and all that, because even Instagram does a cleanup every year, YouTube does a cleanup every year, and they just wipe all of that out. So you will see at the end of the year, people suddenly having drops in their followers, suddenly having drops. That's an organic cleanup that the system does. But if you engage in it, there are so many tools today, and these are thoroughly vetted tools. And as I said, that these influencers or content creators today are being used for very serious brand related problems to solve. So tools are going to get even more intelligent, with AI coming in, super intelligent. So it's better to be authentic and grow your followers in the most authentic way possible. Maybe it's a slower journey for some, faster journey for others. It doesn't matter. But you will get caught if you do stuff like that.
So can the tool also pick up if the engagement rate is really high but not real?
Yeah.
It can?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Because
can we, after the podcast, can you just check my profile and just just give
Harshad's all here to be like, I'm going to be the next
just,
influencer.
Yes.
No, it's genuinely a really big thing, because you know what? But looking back at like 2017, 18, when everyone was just hitting their first 100Ks on Instagram, right? And suddenly everyone was hitting like bigger numbers. And then there was this huge conversation, at least in the influencer circle, right? Because I'm obviously coming from that POV. Oh, this one's buying followers and that one's buying followers. And then that thankfully died down, as that everyone was doing after a point. But then next thing you know, I'm speaking like post-pandemic. Suddenly it was, people can do this with engagement. And I was really shocked with that, even because I was like, post-pandemic, if anything, the creator pool has multiplied many, many fold. And the thing is, every time something like this happens, it kind of threatens, in my opinion, the credibility of the space.
Agreed.
And more so when Reels has come in, TikTok got banned, everything happened in 2020. The democratization of the way anyone could become an influencer, like I said, has its pluses and minuses. But the one thing it was set out to do in my mind was that it would legitimize us as an industry because more work would happen. And I feel the more work we get as an industry, the more at some point we can come together to streamline things, because this is a very unorganized space to be in. I was telling Harshad before you got here that your agency is one of the few that truly works in a very streamlined fashion. And it's not a pain to deal with at all. But there are some agencies out there where I'm like, I know I have to work with them because it's work, but it's not a pleasure to work with them. You know what I mean? And because you're in such an unorganized space, you've got two options. You either suck it up and work with them, which is what so many of us do, or you let the work go, which at some point you can't afford to do. So the idea that so many more creators are coming into this space and legitimizing it as a business is a very good thing. But I hope that there are more of these ways to keep it clean, to keep it as organic as possible. And when I see creators like killing it, getting movies, becoming actors, starting brands as well, I started Verified 3 years ago, it makes me personally really happy. And all of this to the fact that we're contributing towards the economy in a very, very, very real way. And I'd like for our business to be taken as, seriously.
I would, Aanam, I would say the bigger threat to this industry is AI. So, is the emergence of the fact that if you don't stay true to who you are, then tomorrow you are far more replaceable with creators who are AI. I mean, they're not even real people, but can create content 10 times the speed a regular person can. And the speed at which AI is becoming more and more realistic, we may not even be able to tell the difference. So we already have brands who are talking to us saying that, what if we were to create content banks? And there is enough data to support the fact that I know my different types of consumers. I can create avatars that map with those consumers who are AI. And I would say like another year or two from now, I mean, given where we are today, it's going to be the difference. We won't be able to tell the difference. So it's more important today for the creator, the real creator, to be more concerned about the authenticity with which she or he creates content, creates frequency of content, which is probably a boon and a bane as a creator, but it's going to become the need of the hour to create more content, keep connecting with his or her audience, not necessarily through branded content, but just generally speaking. It's almost like opening the window to your life permanently.
Yeah.
And I think, it's kind of some of the stuff you do, because I've seen, and you've had such a journey since the beginning. So if anybody, you are the testament of how to survive, not just survive, thrive in an environment that is rapidly changing.
And keep the brand image right up there. She's one person who's just like, we do so many campaigns, and I see her, and every brand of mine would want her on the list because, very less authentic people. So,
credibility, authentic, all of that. So I think that's the route for everyone to look at, that it's about being, ready for the future without giving up what you stand for, but being open to change. You've changed so much from what you started to where you are. It's not easy to open up your life to the world, but you did it. And you kind of went with the time. So with whatever is coming next, that's what's going to be more important for the influencer not to be so pigeonholed. Needs to be open that first recognize that this is an industry that's here to stay. If someone wants to actually monetize and make a career out of it, it's very doable. But you have to commit to it like a 9-to-5 job, if not more, and it's work.
And also the objective needs to be clear, because today everyone thinks everyone is an influencer, which actually they are, But the objective of what you want to do and how you want to achieve it, I just feel not sometimes, and most of the times is lacking. So probably that's the reason, like Rishi rightly said, you are at your game for 14 years is because, I don't see that currently, like, with the number of people and the number of events I attend. And I'm like, okay, here I'm coming and there's another. But, no one is really thinking what's going to be my next step. And that's exactly what she said, that if AI comes in and, creates what they want to create, then what's going to happen to this pool of influencers or content creators, which we are talking about? It's going to be a good thing to see where it's going to go.
Absolutely.
So if there was someone who is looking to come into this space today, considering you guys are literally sitting up close with brands, you know what they're looking for, you know what they're looking to not have in an influencer they work with, what would you say to a new influencer in this day and age in 2025 on do's, don'ts, on how they should build their profile online? And this is for any aspiring influencer across categories.
For me, it would be real, be authentic. Just be real, be authentic. Understand what is connecting. Why is your follower coming to you again and again? Is because there's some part of you which is connected with the follower. So if you can just be real, be authentic, be straightforward, I think it's always going to work. That's what I would tell everyone, that, just these 3 points and you're good.
Yeah, I would also add entertainment. I think that this space has become, and I think that's what the platforms are doing. We don't have TikTok here, but TikTok across the world has become super popular because it's leveraging entertainment even more so. So when you are real, and I think especially in India, I would say we've always liked the movies.
Yeah.
We've always liked the fact that, yes, art imitates life, but is also a little bit more grand. So people are, when people follow you, they actually aspire to be you. So yes, you can be real, but also show them a life. I mean, you live that life, but you have to sort of show a bit of grandiose to who you are, what you do, and entertain in general, whether it's something funny, whether it is personal, whatever it is. That's when the connection is stronger.
You're going to see me more dancing on my Instagram.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
and I'm keeping mine private.
Harshad in front of the yellow bungalow dancing.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward
absolutely.
to it. When you're looking at the end result of an event or a social media campaign with influencers, what metrics are you looking at to say, okay, this was successful? Like, are we looking at just reach? How do you calculate ROI? Because again, I'm going to ask you this because the comparison I'm coming in from is that when we share insights with brands at the end of any kind of campaign, I can see how many people clicked on a link, let's say on an Instagram story, but I don't know how many people converted that link click, that piece of traffic to sales. The first time I ever got to see that as an end-to-end loop was when I launched Verified.
Yeah.
I got to see link clicks and I also got to see end-to-end conversions. So it had almost become like a game for the first 10 days where I would be like, I'd post about a particular lipstick I'm wearing and I'd not just see the traffic go up, I'd see that particular shade get more sales on that day. And my team would call and give me an update by late afternoon and be like, hey, this is what we sold more. This is the story you posted. And then I would make a conscious effort to wear another lipstick on the next day because I wanted to see, it was like I was playing my own little beauty game and I wanted to see what was happening. But on the brand side, you're the ones getting like deep analytics. Does it help? I feel like the first part of my question should be that, does it help to have obviously insights from so many different creators and celebrities in this space where you know what's working, what's not, and you can then probably duplicate and take one person's insights and try bringing them into the next campaign? That's, I guess, part one of my question. Part two, what are the other metrics? Like, are we looking at ROI? Are we just looking at numbers? Are the brands just happy that they're getting X number of views? Do they want conversions? Where are we on that? Like, because events get covered so much. When you're hosting an event for influencers, you can literally go cherry picking for which influencer you want because everyone wants to be at the coveted events. How are we figuring this whole campaign end result out?
I believe from an event perspective, I do believe that there are two sides. There are brands who just chase the numbers, who just chase the followers. And I do see that. And I'm like, we do know because with the number of years we know where's the engagement rate, what it is, and so on and so forth. You can see the comments which come below. Like some people just have to go through it. But again, at the end of the day, there's so much content. I do not know what are the matrices and how they measure that. But coming back, I do believe that some brands just chase numbers. Some brands just chase followers. I have personally been on a part of a couple of events, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not too sure what this one is going to bring to it. Now, maybe it's their metrics, because at the end of the day, it's all about the ROI. If I'm spending an X amount of money, what is the media return? What is my digital return? Where is the reach? I don't know whether currently the brands have gone into that state where I'm talking from an event point of view, I'm not just a campaign point of view. So when I do an event and you have 100 influencers, I don't know whether someone is literally seeing, okay, what has it done to the brand or to the product? They all at the moment just saying, okay, this many million reach, this many stories, these many tags, this is what has happened. So I guess the other side to it is also where you engage with the right ones, and then there are the right reach, there is the right number of people who are watching it. Like there are times when we have sent links, like you rightly said, a link to buy, and then we see that yeah, there is steady progress. There are people who are buying it, so we know, like that's how we kind of come up with. But normally, if I'm doing that number of events, we probably get, say, 20%. We kind of call the influencers, or we kind of engage with them. So, but from my side, if I have to just say, I do think that there are some brands who only chase numbers, and there are brands who only chase followers.
So there is no straight out answer to that, because objectives for different campaigns are different. We do almost 1,000+ campaigns every year. So, and recurring brands. So clearly one part of it is that brands who are super committed to this space, they have seen that high volume of consistent conversation is eventually what, gets them the sales, because they are also present in multiple touch points. You have D2C brands who think a little bit differently. D2C brands are more sales conversion funnel driven. They are less consideration driven. You have your multinational brands who are more, I think their viewpoint is they already have brands that have been around like 50, 60 years, right? So they're looking at the next 100 years. So for them, it's a combination of multiple tools that they use. Consideration is a very big part, which is the middle piece, where you're just constantly reminding consumers through influencers who you are, why you're there, what makes your product so great, or keeping up with the fact that you are the market leader. So the job they have to do is slightly different. And then they also use media very efficiently. So when media also plays a role for ROI, which can't be delinked from this entire conversation. So you know how it is now with influencers, we take media rights for their content, and that gets boosted through media money. And that's seeing a lot of positive reaction from the consumers for brands where influencer assets that are promoted as an ad does better than the brand ad asset. So this is again something that Meta, YouTube, now Snapchat, all these platforms are promoting as a part of growth of their own creator space. So ROI is not such a straightforward question to give you that answer, but the fact is that it's here to stay. It's definitely making a dent. You have different sort of routes to it. So you have brands who will, if they want to do these end of season sales, which are very conversion driven, we see that they'll have high volume influencers do it. And since they do it consistently, it's obvious that it works. And then they'll go radio silent for a while.
Okay.
While you have other brands who are just consistent, whether sometimes it's for sales, sometimes it's not. But generally speaking, it's delivering.
If there was a new brand founder out there listening to us, watching us today, who wanted to gain some kind of awareness online, what advice would you give to them? What should they do if they were looking to go into working with influencers? How would you just guide them to navigate those waters? It can be intimidating if you're a new brand founder.
For sure.
So where would you ask them to start from? How would you tell them to go about it?
I think today it's It also depends which industry they're in, to be honest.
Let's assume fashion, beauty for a second.
So I would say that they have to, I don't think you can de-link influencers from your content outreach. So there are three types of content that you want out there. Content that you are putting out as a brand, as informed by you to the consumer. There's content that today I find founder-driven content independently of the brand is very important because consumers like to see what went behind the scene. And then the third is influencers. In the influencer bucket, you want to work with people across the funnel. So you shouldn't be limited to only the micro nano or only the top. Depending on the kind of budgets you have, you can maneuver that. You choose the moments in time. You work with large creators, maybe few of them, maybe one of them over a slightly longer period of time, and build a relationship. But then at the same time, engage with the micro nano, show a more community sort of vibe, bring forth the humanification of your brand. Very, very critical. So I think it's just part of the marketing mix. You just have to keep using them in different ways, either through experiences, either creating content with them, shoots with them, because they are your distribution channel. Yeah. You can't just look at them as an influencer. Today, influencer is replacing that magazine, which we used to read and say that, oh, this is what I found in the magazine.
But I have a question here. Like, do you foresee, we still have like all the brands doing ads and then they do the influencer community, right? Do you foresee that, like what I've never been able to understand is that why is a brand, when they're thinking they're advertising, not doing the entire ads with the influencers? Wouldn't that be so much easier? Because if you see, there are some brands who do the ads and then they give that piece of content to the influencer. That is one option. Or they say that this is the product and do that. Then my question is, if no one is really watching that ad, then why do you do that ad? Why can't it go to a stage where the influencers directly can be a part of the ad? Has that something like that striked you?
The ad is what the brand creates as their own brand vision, rather. I think has to do with if you have celebrities, then you're sort of bound to using that celebrity and bringing that whole world to life, which still there is a lot of aura for.
Yeah. You think so?
Yes, yeah? For sure. And it will stay. The difference is that the influencer is making it more relatable. While the ad that the brand puts out is usually a single message. It's a one size fits all for everybody. With the influencer, you get to break that down into multiple messages, whether it's a fashion piece or even a financial product. Like a financial product will have, just the basic information they want to give, that this is your savings or, you will earn so much out of it.
And they'll say everything is related to market risk, etc. etc.
Exactly. But then you have the influencers today, even, your financial brands are going to beauty, lifestyle influencers, not just the finance people, because they are all breaking it down in their own way. There is a personal insight. I travel a lot. I have these issues and therefore I went and chose XYZ credit card so you are trying to relate to different pockets of people through influencers who can dumbify that information.
Got it.
I also feel like we're a little bit far away still in India from where an influencer will have the same kind of aura that a Bollywood celebrity will have.
But why do you think that? Like why?
Because the numbers. The thing is, if you're a regional influencer, if you speak, let's say you speak Hindi, or let's say you speak one of the regional languages, depending on which state you're from, you will have an intense fan base there. But it's really difficult to go nationwide and still maintain some kind of premium luxury feel, look, value. There is this little bit of a stigma which should not be there. But unfortunately, it exists. Like there are very few, let's say, for example, today, if I'm going for a luxury brand event, you host so many, like you put together so many of these events. When you see the guest list, do you see as many regional speaking influencers on it? There is this unfortunate division that does exist. Whereas with celebrities, it doesn't matter. They can do A, B, C, and D, and it all will work because like you said, it's one size genuinely fits all.
Correct.
It'll be a while till influencers get there because A, the numbers will take some time, the appeal will take some time. A celebrity will get spotted on the road, at an airport, anywhere. Influencers will get spotted depending on where their audience is. I meet most people when I'm at an airport. I meet most subscribers when I'm at an airport. I spent 6 weeks in America 2 years ago. I have never met so many subscribers in my life in a short span of 6 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
I have bumped into more people in LA and Texas and New York. I had lunch with subscribers in New York. I've never had that in India. Because for whatever reason, I was bumping, I don't know, it's just one of those things that exists.
For me, I'm really looking forward to see if what Bhuvan Bam did with where he reached, right?
Yeah.
As a YouTube content creator, and now with the couple of series which he has
Even
done
Prajakta.
on an OTT or Prajakta, I really am very curious to see whether an influencer, if I may call them, is going to be leading a movie or going to be kind of acting in a movie.
But I think that's the path for all of them.
But that's what they achieve.
Percentage
I think they are basically, they want that. Because at the end of the day, that's what she said, right?
Sure.
Today, what a Bollywood gets them, or what a Bollywood celebrity is kind of recognized. I think everyone wants to go beyond that digital space, is what it is. But I don't know, why there are so diamond dozen and so many people have come up. I've not seen that happen as
yet. The percentage of people that have achieved that is smaller as of right now. But like you said, for so many people, it is the goal, right? And I feel over a period of time...
It's also the industry who has to accept so many outsiders. No? Yeah. Now you have OTT, things will change. You will start seeing more and more coming in there because the industry will also be forced to open up.
And we're on that path.
Yeah. And that's going to be more fun, right? Because then you kind of know that the number of content creators or the influencers which are coming into the space, they know where it can go. Because I think everyone just is creating content. But
Harshad, it's also not everybody. While the goal is to be famous, I would say it's not necessarily. It's only to be a star, because you also have to have acting skills to be able to act.
Yeah.
But there could be founders, entrepreneurs. There's so much more, I think, that's going to come out of the influencer space. That's that what we will, if you only look at it as, they became a star and there was X percentage that did it, but I would say far more may have gone and achieved a lot other
no doubt. But in India, there's still a myth that if I'm there, if Bollywood is the, whether it's
epitome
Bollywood or cricket, because that's the two religions. That's where I'm.
No, I think those who have acting skills for sure. And their ambitions are acting. This is a path too. But if someone's ambition is not acting, then you will still see other outcomes.
But do you think all the influencers are currently acting on Instagram?
Yeah. I think maybe you have to be camera friendly for sure. But I wouldn't say that.
Aanam is you're not asking me that question.
No, you can ask me that question. You're just being you. I love it. I'm all for it.
But not that level of acting.
Maybe we should give people a little bit of a disclaimer that this is where you go for the insider gup to please, gentlemen.
Yes.
No, I just see sometimes and I'm just oh my God, this is and when I see it, right, and that's my question to both of y'all when I come from a brand side, is that when we call so many influencers to these events, right, I don't know whether everyone walks with their camera person. But what I do not know, and I'm talking about from my side of experience on an event bit, right, I just do not know how, I really want to see someone really standing out and creating that different content. I just feel that, everyone just comes in and is will do their thing and and just do. And I just feel that, is there no one who is today to again go back to that example, look at what Bhuvan Bam has done and whatever he's done, but he's done it on YouTube, right? Because he related and he kept changing his content and he made different avatars. Is there no way? Because I just feel that everyone is still doing the same thing. That
there's a lot of people are doing amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
It's just tougher to discover, perhaps.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I like. Is it tougher
happening.
To discover? Because
that's what I'm saying. That it's become such an entertainment space. You'd be surprised how some creators who truly have the talent. Even if you just talk about comic talent. There is so much out there that you have suddenly, people who you'd never imagine have just created content and that's how they've gone viral. And then you notice And this is like real, it's like your Kusha Kapilas of the world, right?
Yeah.
There are so many more
Correct.
of them
Yeah,
today.
there are so many IPs being built where, let alone like movies, they're building their own. Actually, just last night, I watched Kusha's VR, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Dolly's doing short films on YouTube. Prajakta's obviously killing it both on YouTube and in the movie business. But like, I love, like, for example, if you're talking about comic IPs, Ronak Rajani runs this fantastic IP called Relationship Advice that I love watching.
Wow. Okay.
So there's a lot happening. I think it's just a matter of, because it's not mainstream
yet,
discoverability yet, is a little bit.
How do you discover?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on YouTube. Like when I'm getting ready, my YouTube screen is always on. I'm always looking for new stuff. After I put my son to bed at night, that's my little 2-hour window of I will watch something new. That's my way of trying to find new people. And I think that there is a lot going on. It's just a matter of maybe they obviously can't market their shows the way a movie can go on every famous TV show and say, watch our, content. But there's some real killer stuff happening, genuinely. Like there's two worlds in my mind that exist for the influencer space. One, which is a little bit monotonous, a little bit more sure, yes, that exists, where a lot of it is copy paste.
Correct.
And unfortunately, that has to exist also for the other to, kind of, it has to balance itself out. And then on the other side, I love watching vlogs. I'm watching comedy IPs. I'm watching these short films made by creators. Internationally, there are these creators like Best Dressed, who, unfortunately, she doesn't create content anymore, but I go back to her videos. Really well shot. They look like movies. They're so aesthetic. So there's a lot of killer stuff happening everywhere, honestly.
Agreed.
Need to get some tips.
I will send you links.
Yeah, that's
I will
what it
send
is.
you links. Wait, so I asked you about like if there's a new brand out there, but and a new creator. But I want to understand for any new influencers out there, and I guess this is more like kind of in your line of what you do. How would you tell an influencer to price their media kit? We're switching gears and going back to money over here because, like I said, we've had a lot of conversations with influencers, and I've had these conversations offline with my influencer friends as well, right? And we realize we all charge with different variables, different factors in mind. Somebody keeps follower count in mind. Somebody keeps views. CPV is so big. Cost per view is so big. Somebody values the fact that they may have lesser followers, but a more pointed, targeted set of followers for their niche. How would you advise and what kind of numbers would you advise to someone that's starting? Let's assume for the sake of it, we're talking about someone sitting at 50,000 Instagram followers in the beauty space.
So regardless of the followers, CPV is the primary.
Wow.
Not engagement?
No.
Okay.
Because engagement can always be, I guess, justified in terms of how much freedom you get as a creator to create the content that you want to create.
Fair point.
When it comes to brands. So, and you know what works best for your, audience. But if the brand insists that there has to be a certain code and X number of times their names have to be taken in the product, in the video, maybe it will suffer.
Yeah.
But by and large, more and more brands today are recognizing the importance of giving creator that decent level of creative freedom because they want the views. They want high engagement. So it's definitely that. I think we are definitely round the bend on that one. So CPV is crucial. It's very important that organically you're consistently getting certain views. So we, for instance, look at average views of the creators. We look at last 5-10 video reels. We get a good sense of what those average views are. And there are metrics in the industry already that what the CPV ought to be. Usually it's to be under, 1 rupee is what you want the CPV, 1 to 1.5 max on a higher side. And as the influencer pool increases, I think that is going to become a commodity. So you will have, and that's the pressure on the influencer to not about delivering the CPV for the brand. It's about the consistency in your content, that it has to be easy. You should be able to say that, my content, generally speaking, delivers X value for you because it gets this volume of views. And we have that metric. We know exactly how it works. And most brands do as well. And that becomes a fundamental selection. Then the second stage of selection is, yes, like you said, if you have subject matter expertise. So then you can have, now you have, for example, even dermats entering the scene in a big way.
Yeah.
You have that level of expertise in terms of content creation, where the follower count may not be so important, where the CPV in that sense is difficult to judge, but you want that credibility.
Yeah.
So in that case, you often have brands who will take media rights to deliver the CPV because they get to target it to the right audience.
Right.
And therefore deliver the CPV. So that's the sort of, I would say, two ends of the spectrum. One side, all commodity, where say I'm doing a 5,000 influencer campaign. Then you're not cherry picking the influencer by looking at 5,000 profiles. So to that level of a brand fit, then it becomes, yes, there's a basic brand fit that is required, a basic hygiene of quality that is required. But then it's performance and delivery. And that comes from, can you deliver the views? So for all incoming influencers and those who are here to stay, it becomes very important that your content is delivering with your audience. Your growth is not as important as the volume of consistent engagement you're getting.
Yeah. While I think it's obviously so much more crowded now to become like an influencer now in this space, I also think it's so much easier because like equipment and understanding of production, it's become so much. Like when I bought my first ring light, I remember paying like some 15,000 rupees for it. And now I look at them on Amazon for 1,500 and I think, wow.
Even the platforms are giving you such amazing edits.
Yeah.
So they're simplifying your life more and more. And suddenly, even if you don't have an aesthetic eye, you take 5 templates and you've got aesthetic content.
Which is also why I think it seems like a lower hanging fruit for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people I remember Tanmay saying this on an interview somewhere on a platform. I wish I could credit them, but I think I remember it was Tanmay who said that because it seems so much easier and it's become so much easier with all of these equipment. A lot of people on the managerial side, on the teams, think that they can get up and now become influencers. And so attrition rates actually at agencies, at brands, at just companies related to the social media space, because they look at the kind of numbers influencers are making, have taken a hit.
Of course.
How do you maintain your team's sanity? How do you make sure, how is it to hire people in both of your spaces and maintain these teams? Because the way I look at it inside out, I'm not just with you guys, like obviously, like I'm saying in general, we're dealing with so many people across so many agencies. Sometimes I lose track of who is working for whom. So how are you managing at your end?
I think we have quite different requirements on that front.
Yeah,
what qualifications are you looking for if someone is looking to work at Toast? Let's break it down to that.
I really wouldn't give much to the qualification, because I myself am just a 10+2. Neither am an MBA, neither do I have a creative degree. I'm not a graduate. So I for me or for a Toast, we really don't look at the qualification. I'm not saying that if you're an MBA, you're not welcome.
You just have to get along with Harshad.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just feel that you just need to be...
Getting along with the boss is a good filter.
Very easy to get along with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really. But I think the biggest matrix for anyone to come to Toast is creativity. I think today we are what we are because of creativity and then execution. So I believe that, you could be a 10+2, you could be an MBA. If you are interested to create experiences for the brands, for the consumers, and you want to be different, then Toast is the place. I do believe that in the 10 years of business we have been, even now today, I'm sitting on a bank of 350 resumes, which means we've done something right for more and more people to kind of come. And not necessarily everyone needs to come from an event management background, right? While the people who put the installations or the stage or the light or the sound need to have certain expertise. But at the end of the day, a creative idea could come from you, a creative idea could come from her, or a creative idea could come from me. Right. It's just that we believe how we want to get, like what that person has that. And if we believe that that person even shows us a little sign, we know that that's the person. And I guess that's probably the reason why we've not had many people quitting Toast, like you rightly said, like you deal with agencies and you're like, oh, you jump from year to year. I think you've dealt with Toast for so many years, and you've dealt with the same amount of people over the period of 10 years. So I think for me, it's been creativity, or for Toast, it's the biggest key is creativity. I don't think so it's qualification. And be a little dramatic,
See, that's what
that's right. Yeah, there you go.
When I said get along with the boss, that's what I meant.
Get along with the boss can go like different space.
I was just being polite.
Oh, okay.
You just explained exactly what
he
I
has a very fun work environment. I've been to his office, and I don't know if I don't know how many people know this. My husband has recently started working with them.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's just started working at
literally like 2 weeks ago. And
now imagine so qualified, and 19 years of advertising, and then he felt 22 years of advertising, and then he felt that he should come to Toast, right? Again, how do I say? So you have a 10+2, and then you have a 22 years of advertising professional. So I guess that's the matrix is creativity, clearly. And if you can do that, of course, you need to sip some bubbles at Toast all the day. But otherwise,
Toast and bubbles.
Toast and bubbles.
And I think I can testify, considering Jerry's experience over the last couple of weeks,
and
that
I
it's
can
a very
imagine
fun.
Also from where he's coming to where he's gone, it's a completely different.
Yeah,
world.
he took a almost 3 year sabbatical actually in the middle. So he was helping me build Verified, and after a point he was like, I've done everything here that I could for you. Now I'm missing the big structure organization. I need to go back. And I think him and Harshad they've done some freelance work together over the past few years also. So they had a good relationship.
Yeah. So I think keep the creativity right up there. Know what you're doing. Till date, every single employee has been very clearly asked that what their personal goals and their personal objectives are. And then when they come into Toast, very, very important, understand what the brand objective is, because the brand objective can differ from every single brand to every single event. And if we can kind of deliver on that every single day, because literally we do like 2 events or 2.5 events in a day, when you're doing between 700 to 800 experiences in a year, I think that's what it is.
What are you looking for while hiring someone?
So I would say I agree with Harshad. For us, qualifications, yes, to some degree matter to the point that you've, had some formal education. I would say it's pretty much that's it. Then it's really the personality.
Correct.
So it's how, and I'll be, honest, the bit that I'm most proud of within our organization is that I will not say my age, but the next rung is super young, started first jobs with us. So been with us 5-6 years, bare minimum. Now running large accounts, running, big marketing budgets. And this is testament, honestly, to this generation that if you have the right mindset,
correct,
and you're very committed to your ambition to some sense,
and to your craft.
See, when they join, sometimes they don't even know what their craft is.
Fair.
But you have to be willing to learn, and you have to be willing to, enjoy the ride. There will be ups, there will be downs, of course, which is most important, I feel, with this generation, for them to recognize. We've got 1 or 2, in fact, girls who joined us at 22, 23. Today, they're heads of department and they're not even 30. And they're making, they're financially in a very good place. This is a pure testament to the almost a sub-entrepreneurial culture that we build within our companies.
Yeah.
And for that, it's the fire that you need. It's the ability to learn, because you honestly, I feel, coming into a vibrant, younger organization such as ours, these kids have the opportunity to be directly mentored by senior people, which you don't get in corporate life.
Yeah.
And if they are the sponge they ought to be, then they will go fast and high very quickly. Like, imagine his team created another organization. That itself says a lot, right? So, and we've got, like I said, 25, 26-year-olds in really senior positions, and we are so proud of them.
Are you comfortable sharing what an average salary of a 25 to 30-year-old might be at either of your organizations? Because
sure.
That might be very interesting to a lot of people.
It really depends on where and how they are
Average
coming. See, at
range.
25, most of them are starting with us, right? 23, 25. So it really, if someone's really come early at 23 and shown a lot of progress, then they can be in, a double-digit CTC very quickly.
Okay.
And I mean, it really depends on what sort of trajectory you're on. My point being that it's not limited like a corporate structure.
Fair.
Where you have to come in, you need 3 years of experience, then you get an X grade. Our increments don't have to follow a corporate. It's not like, 10% or 12% for the year and everybody gets it. You've got people getting 50%, you've got people getting 10%. It's so performance driven.
Yeah.
Like even at Toast, I don't think so. It's ever been about what's the increment which you're going to get, right? Like today at Toast, like Pooja rightly said, there are some people who joined her and they've then grown. Same story with at Toast. Like there are the top 6 or top 7 joined me 8 or 9 years back, and they currently have a skin in the game. So it's very, very simple that, if you treat this as your own organization, so for any youngster who's hearing this or watching this, is going to be that, you treat the organization as your own, and you kind of deliver what you want to deliver. You're only going to grow with the organization. I don't think so. I have ever seen, I don't think so. When was the last time I have sat down and said, how much margin am I making or how much Toast is making? I've been more interested in saying how much my employee is making. Just to give you an example, an average employee at Toast earns 5 incentives. 1 incentive is equal to 1 salary. Okay. And there are matrices. What are you getting that for? How you've gone beyond what is expected of you, how you have kind of changed the game, how creative you have. Recently you would have seen a lot of people, and I didn't know that, we're going to get so many tags on that particular day. When we stopped, we were the first event company who stopped linking road for 7.5 minutes to 8 minutes, which was a Birkenstock event, which means I didn't allow the traffic to go from here and go from there. Which means someone has really worked on that event, right? Someone has handled the cops, taken the permissions, and this was all permissions. But imagine the person thinking that idea, linking road to be stopped for 8 minutes. Brilliant. Or our biggest rise was when we got Mr. Bachchan to do a brand presentation. Everyone thought that I've smoked up and I do not know what I'm doing. And then when you went to Mr. Bachchan and presented the idea, he was like, not too sure, let me see. But I think in under 15 minutes, I had a call saying, I will do it. So I believe that for any youngster, you be a part of the company. If you know the objective, if you're learning every single day, you know that the organization is delivering, you're only going to grow. Because today, as I told you, the 7 people or 8 people who have a skin in the game, I'm like, wow. What have you come to me for, and where it is, and where you're going? And I'm not saying I'm doing anything for them. I'm doing any favor on them. They have worked themselves. Like she rightly said, they've basically put their creativity right up there for a company which doesn't belong to them, and that's great.
Yeah. This is awesome, guys. It's honestly so insightful to anyone who's watching, wants to get into either the influencer management space, the event space, wants to become an influencer, wants to work with actors. I feel like you guys have really shared so much today, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to end this episode with a little bit of a game where I'm going to give you these cue cards for what's hot and what's not.
Okay.
And you just have to basically turn it around and tell me whether you think this is a good idea or a bad idea.
Okay. Normally we think alike, so let's see.
So this will be even more interesting.
This is the side which is
it's hot.
And
it's not.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Let's go. Numbers over creativity when it comes to running your business. Hot or not?
Numbers over creativity. That's a tough one. But I would say...
See, you don't think the same also.
Yeah, I knew
it's just the first question. For me, creativity, any day.
Insta-perfect events lead to more coverage on socials. True, false?
It's very tough. It's not so black.
I'm just waiting for seeing what is she going to say. But that's the expert.
Insta-perfect events will lead to more coverage on social media.
That's pressure on you, Pooja.
That's pressure on you, actually, but okay.
I agree.
Influencers with more followers equal influencers with more impact.
Not necessary. So,
See, we are alike now.
ROI can come from smaller, micro, nano influencers too.
yes.
Networking leads to more business in this industry.
Maybe.
Out of sight, out of mind in our line of work.
Oh, sorry.
Out of sight, out of mind in a line of work.
True, false.
True.
Yeah.
So true is this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Staying always on is important for any entrepreneur. Social media and events business looks more fun online than it is in real life.
100%.
So I want to go. Yeah.
He wants to like really hold it up.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It should have a heart, na?
Yeah.
One half, one half.
Yeah, I know.
No?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
know.
Harshad, you have really like this through this whole episode. He's been wanting to say that, but you've said it very
There you go. Yeah.
Cut.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So much for
This
being
was fun.
so amazing. I feel like you've really shared a lot and it'll genuinely help people out there looking to be in these fields. And
Yeah, but I
hope-
just wish Pooja allowed me to speak a little bit more, but that's fine.
Let's give you a minute.
No, that's fine.
No, let's give you a
Please
minute
go
to
right
speak.
ahead.
We'll
All
give you
this
a
was
little.
fun.
yours.
I guess it was an interesting insight for me too, right? Like, I only see it from the brand side. I only put events together for brands where not necessarily I'm dealing with the content creator or influencer all the time. But yeah, there were some great insights for me too from this podcast. So,
But you're dealing with so many celebrities, which I would assume is even tougher than dealing with influencers.
not really. I love it. I think they're great. Like I do believe that every celebrity today is also thinking that they are influencing someone or the other in a certain manner. They've got conscious. They know what to put out there. If you see today, while at an event, I will have my own team, or the brand has asked us to kind of put a team to capture the way it needs to be captured. But the celebrity is also kind of working with their own social media team to create the kind of content. So that's what, like Pooja said, like, it's relevant that how I want my content to be captured is also important, because at the end of the day, my content capture guy is only capturing in the way the brand wants.
Right.
But, the celebrity also knows that there are people who are connecting to him or her because of the natural way they put it out over there. So I guess that's how it works. But I love working with celebrities. I think I've never had issues working with any one of them. And in fact, I feel that, that's what I feel that the more like my rise or toast rise or cream earlier was always because we have thought crazy ideas. And today I also believe that the celebrity wants to go beyond the typical going and doing the ribbon cutting or the cookie ideas. Like if you bring them an idea, like the recent one when we were just talking, where you said you put Ranveer Singh on a cherry picker on Linking Road to kind of unveil the new look of the store, and everyone talked about it. And I don't even know. Yeah, I did see some of the studies after that on what it created on social media. So I understand it better now of what you put out there is how it is. So I think I love it. I love working with the celebrities who I believe are the influencers for me from an event space. Of course, her space, she's really dealing with a larger.
Yeah, it's different. But there was one, thought that I had when you were speaking is that, and I would say that is more of a hope I have for this industry. When you said that, there's so many, it's such an unstructured industry, and where does it sort of go from here? I hope that as creators, they would come together more than compete with each other.
I agree.
I think it's crucial for this industry for it to, whether it becomes structured, it will along the way, but instead of it getting structured by force through external parties, via agencies, brands, which will eventually happen, but as a community, they need to come together more. And dare I say, I think it has a lot to do with the older gen that might have to lead this.
No, I quickly put the point over here. Why don't Air, Toast, and Aanam kind of takes this lead, and maybe this is where it should lead, and maybe we should kind of do a confluence of the first ever all the influencers to come together and discuss and talk and
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. I feel like I've always been very community over competition when it comes to my state of mind. And I've always tried to, kind of promote that whenever I'm in conversation with anyone. But I feel like the kind of space it is, unfortunately, leaves a lot of people feeling very insecure and competitive. And how to get rid of that is such a big question mark, because I've been so for almost unionizing it in so many ways. Over a period of the last 14 years, there have been times I've had mini groups where we've all always talked about, okay, this brand is working with a lot of us. And let's say, for example, there were 10 of us invited to an event and only 6 of us were getting paid for it. We made sure that the other 4 knew that, listen, 6 of us are getting paid for it.
Nice.
But it is one of those things that somewhere along the way, because there's so much that has to do with temperament and ego. And because insecurity is such a big part of living this kind of public life that we do, I don't know if everyone can consistently be on the same page unless there is a genuine proper structure. Like
I think
union.
there is, I think at the bottom, it may still be possible at the bottom end of the pyramid with the micro nano coming in. Like we've created a community called Flutter, which we started 2 years ago, which had very little to do with the brand, but just, it was almost like us giving back. We said, we'll train you. We'll give you master classes. That's when we worked with some of the larger influencers, call these guys on like digital platform, right? Like literally dial in and you will learn a learning session with the larger influencers. And that's where we're seeing that little bit of shift is happening. But I just think what I meant largely was that a lot more of it needs to happen to comfort the young gen. To focus on the quality and not really worry about,
hopefully they'll be more community
I think so driven, but they need to. And maybe now, because we've also evolved, we're coming with these community approaches that come as a community, build as a community, grow as a community, learn as a community. So hopefully it will get there. But in general, I think, like you said, the work has to be done by far many and more to promote that you guys are here to stay. I think you're doing a fantastic job. I think it's a very exciting space. Lot more excitement to come. So, unity is always bigger. It's going to get you farther. So come together more. And I think the sun is shining bright. So looking forward to, I hope it works out a lot more.
Yeah, I hope it works out.
It will, for sure.
Thank you once again. I have a little thank you over here for the both of you.
Thank you.
From Verified.
No, only one should win, na? This is that hamper.
No, this is the kind of hamper that everyone gets. I'm going to quickly move my mic.
Very smart.
We like giving hampers to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. You've been such a great
guest.
This
was great. Thank you.
That's great.
I really hope you enjoyed watching today's episode. Anyone out there who's setting out to be an influencer, a celebrity, or work in the influencer marketing or event space is definitely going to take back a whole lot from this one. Don't forget to sound off your thoughts in the comments. I'm always reading, liking, hearting, and responding to each and every one of them. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. See you in the next one.